Okay. No, Be'ezrat Hashem Yeshuato. We are starting now the 8th perek, the 8th and final perek of Shir HaShirim. Very, very emotional. Okay, very emotional. Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem. The perek is 14 pesukim. 14 pesukim. And in this perek, according to the Gaon Mivilna, okay, after the Goyim have addressed in the 7th perek, right, the greatness of Am Yisrael and what they've accomplished throughout history against all odds. Now there will be the consolidation between Am Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's like, when you talk about, you try to seduce someone, okay, to take them away from their lover. What does he do? He just makes the two lovers love each other even more and reassure themselves of their love and re-strengthen and reaffirm the genuinity and the strength of the bond. And that's what's going to happen right now, that we will see lead to the remembering and recognition and refreshing of the times of Mashiach, of the Geula. Meaning, by thinking and talking and foreseeing what the Geula will be like, it consolidates the love between Am Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we'll obviously see it and dive into it in more depth. But what we will be learning, which is an amazing yesod, is that in order to strengthen and refresh a vibrance of our emunah for Hashem, okay, it's important to have in mind the concept of the Geula, right? The good, the ultimate good that comes out of it. Same thing we can learn in a relationship, right? Between two lovers, you're going to have highs, lows, ups and downs. But how can you keep a relationship steady and going and rebuild and re-strengthen a relationship at times of lows or of a little bit of confusion? By having in mind the greater good of that relationship. Good? When you think of the greater good, it reminds everybody why we are in this together. And we remind ourselves of all the love and the care and the devotion and dedication that we've invested in that relationship for the greater good. And that stimulates the couple to re-strengthen and reassure their love and their bond. That's what we're going to see from the Gaon Mivina. On another end, the Malbim, it's almost as if, according to the Malbim now, the nefesh, right, that is on its way to Gan Eden, is going to tell the body, okay, what it never did for it. What, all the flaws that the body had, restraining and restricting the neshama from being able to live to its full potential. So essentially the neshama, we're going to see, is going to start to point its finger to the body. And then there is obviously the final touch of love and fusion between the neshama and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which we will see very soon. Okay, as we're going through the text. So now we start with the Gaon Midina. Okay, so mi tencha pasuk chet, mi tencha ke'achli. If only you could be to me like a brother. Yonek shede'imi, as if you nursed from my mother's breast. I can find you outside, and kiss you outside, and nobody will despise me for it. Right? So here there is the Gaon says comes the acknowledgement of the relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Am Yisrael, right? And we know it's like the lovers, two lovers, right? The HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Knesset Israel is like husband and wife, yeah? So the Gaon says it is clear that the love between a husband and wife is expressed differently than the love between brothers or between brother and sister. It's not the same. Why? He says the love between a husband and wife is hidden, is kept private, and it's expressed through kisses. The kiss on the mouth, like we say, "Shakeni mineshikot pihu kitovim dodecha miyayin." The kiss of love, the exchange of neshamot between the husband and wife is kept very, very private. This is not something we show to the world. Where the kisses and the love of brothers and sisters, it's expressed everywhere. You hug your brother, you kiss your brother or your kids, you hug them, you kiss them in the eyes of everybody, and it's fine, right? There's no shame to it. There's no reason to have it private. So the pasuk says, "Mi tencha ke'achli." I wish that you were to me like a brother, and that's a husband, a wife telling her husband that. Right? It's Knesset Israel telling Am Yisrael. I wish our relationship was like the relationship of a brother, but not only any brother. Because a big brother, what do? You go and give him a hug, right? Your little brother, what do? You give him kisses, right? So he says, a brother, right? That nursed from the breast of my mother, meaning he's a little kid that I can hug and kiss. And I'll see you outside. And I'll give you a kiss. I'll show you my love to you on the outside. And nobody will despise it. Right? This is what Knesset Israel, this is what Am Yisrael tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I wish that we can take our relationship and expose it to the world and show it to the world and not be judged for it. Come explain the Gaon on a deeper level. And he says, the relationship that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had with Am Yisrael has always been an intimate relationship. It has always been a relationship that has been kept closed, secretive, in a closed environment. Am Yisrael is not the people that have missionaries. Is not a people that has how we call it crusades or jihad, holy wars. We don't want to spread that love. We want to nurture that love. It's a relationship between a husband and wife, not a relationship between a father and son or two brothers. And every time, says the Gaon, that Am Yisrael shows off or is seen, okay, having an intimate relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is being despised by the world, by the Goyim. The Goyim do not tolerate an intimate relationship of Am Yisrael with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. of something special. No, it has to be out there. Everybody, hug everybody. Let's love everybody. We're all the same. So throughout history, Am Yisrael had always the obligation to nurture an intimate relationship in close quarters. And now, after the Goyim recognize the Gadlut of Am Yisrael, the relationship of Am Yisrael, everything that Am Yisrael has sacrificed for that relationship, Am Yisrael tells HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now is the time. Now is the time. I wish that now we can just show to the world, get to a place, let's get to the Geula where it's out in the open, that there is an expression of love that is so pure and so clear that nobody will despise it, and it will not have to be hidden anymore. It won't have to be secluded anymore. And says the Gaon, how does that translate in the Limud Torah? He says, we have the Torah, the secretive aspect of the Torah is the Torah Kabbalah, the Sod, Torah Tasod. The Torah Tasod is the Torah that has been kept like the kisses, Yishakeni mineshikot pihu, right? In a very close garden. However, the Torah Tashas, Mishnah, Mikra, all this, right? All this is taught outside, is taught to the public. Says the Gaon, Knesset Israel says, when will we be able to reveal to the world the depth and all the secrets of the Torah? Because this is what, at the end, will glorify you and will bring you all the acknowledgement of your malchut in the world. And that's basically the definition, kivyachol, of Mashiach. When we will all going to understand the depths and the secrets of the Torah. What do we see from this? That in order to be able to dive into your personal geula, right? Your personal geula is what? Is when you're able to live comfortably your hidden understanding and concepts and beliefs, right? As long as it stays hidden, there is love, but it's in the bedroom. It's in the close quarters, right? But that's not the geula. The definition of the geula is when I'm able to express it publicly and live it freely without anyone pointing their fingers at me and despite the fact that I'm living that relationship. This is the personal geula that we need to each get to and be able to reveal in our own lives. Is again when we are able to live publicly the intimate relationship we have emotionally and spiritually with Hashem. This is the geula of a person, of an individual. The Malbim, on this pasuk mi tencha ke'achli, he says the nefesh starts remembering, the neshama starts remembering all the events, all the life that it had with the body. As you recall, I don't know, I think we discussed it, that when a person goes in Olam Haba, right, when he transits, one of the steps is what? Is that he sees a movie of his entire life, right? All his life passes in front of him. This is what we're talking about right now. The neshama starts seeing the entire movie. And it will now become sad and not upset, but disappointed at the body. Now the neshama is disappointed at the body while it sees all this movie again. That's what we're going to feel after 120. Chachamim say שהנשמה מתאבלת על הגוף כל י"ב חודש. For 12 months, the neshama carries that disappointment, carries that sadness. אינה מתאבלת על החיים. It's not disappointed at life, at the fact that it was alive. No. It's disappointed at the fact that the body had this yetzer hara, had this ta'avot, had this instinct that made a war against the neshama. While the neshama wanted to be at the level of Moshe Rabbeinu Eliyahu Navi, be able to meet encha ke'achli. I wish you were to me like a brother. You were to me like a brother. You were aligned with me. The neshama tells the body, I wish you were aligned with me. Yonek shedei that you nursed from the breast of my mother, meaning you desired the taste, the same taste. You felt the taste that I feel, the sweetness of the milk I had. I wish you had it. מיתנך כאח לי. He says, the neshama now tells the body, if only you let me do what I thrived, what I desired in this world while we were together, I would have given you all the pleasures of all the tzaddikim of the generations. I would have given you the pleasures of Moshe Rabbeinu. I would have given you the pleasures of Eliyahu Navi. I would have given you the pleasures of all the tzaddikim. But instead, you choked me, you restrained me, you stopped me, you bothered me. And this he said, if you would have left me do what I'm supposed to, you would have benefited from two things. The first thing, me, the neshama, I could have got out of the body the neshama, we have to understand that. The neshama tells the body, I am upset at you for not letting me have Ruach HaKodesh and be at the level of a Navi. Do you understand? It's very, very, very important. The neshama points its finger at the body and tells the body, I could have been at the level of a prophet. I could have lived with Ruach HaKodesh, and you stopped it. I could have had out body experience and elevate myself, and you stop it. This is the potential, open brackets, that we have today. This is the potential we have today, and this is what our neshama is going to be upset at us for. This is the frustration we will be carrying for 12 months in Gehinnom. The disappointment of Gehinnom, the disappointment is what will be for all the potential we wasted. This is Gehinnom. Part of Gehinnom is this. Is the disappointment of wasting our potential in this world. The second one it says, I could go out of the body and yet kiss you. And nobody would have bothered me. Nobody would have bothered. The kochot of the body would have stayed in line if you would have let me do what I do best. You know, it's like you bring in you're bringing I don't know, a CEO in your company. Yeah, you have a company. You bring in a new CEO because that's it. It's a huge company now. Yeah? And instead of letting him do his job, you stop him every time. Stop him. You stop him. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. So after the end of the year, at the end of the year, you sit down with him, to make report. And the CEO says, stay aside. Get out of my way. You brought me here to elevate you, to build your company. Let me build the company. Why do you interfere every time? Why do you interfere? And that's the frustration. That's the frustration we're going to have. Why did I let my body and my instinct and my desires and my fears and my comfort and my doubts interfere in my growth? It's pretty frustrating, right? When you try to build something and somebody comes and setback, another setback, another setback, another problem. Wait, there's not enough problems. There's not a problem. What do you need to bring in more problems? Just stay aside, go for a walk, and let me do my thing. This is essentially what the neshama is telling the body to us, is daily saying the same thing. Please stay aside. Stop bothering me. Stop bothering me. This is what we have to tell ourselves every time we have the desire, we have a Yetzer Hara kicking in. Stop bothering me. Stay aside. Let me do my job. I'm here to do my job. Just like somebody that takes over a company. That's one thing. Pasuk Bet. En hagecha, let me take you along, lead you, aviachal betimi, and bring you to the house of my mother. Telamedeni, the one who taught me. Ashkecha miyayin harekach. I will give you to drink wine that is mixed with senses, spices, right? With spices. Me'asis rimoni, from the juice, and I'll give you some pomegranate juice. Says the Malbim. We continue with the Malbim because he's building up from that, the first pasuk on to the second pasuk. Says the second benefit you would have had if you would have left me alone. And I would have brought the kedusha not only in the experience of the out of body experience and the spiritual world. I would have brought that kedusha inside the body. You would have felt it emotionally. And I would have influenced you so that the Torah, the mitzvot, would have changed you, the body. It would have made your instinct more refined, your senses more accurate, your intellect more sharp, your eyes cleaner, healthier, stronger. The all of the mitzvot would have healed and empowered your body. So it's not only a benefit of me being able to do my job spiritually, but you would have benefited from all this. You would have grown from all this. He says the Malbim, we have two types of wine. Two types of wine. We know the wine is what? The wine is the Asaga, right? It's throughout the Shir HaShirim, every time we talk about wine, we talk about the Asaga, the grasp, the intellectual grasp. Says the Malbim, there's two types. There is the Yain, you have the wine that is pure, that is not mixed with spices. He says this is the wine, this is the clarity a person gets. This is the clarity a person gets with Ruach HaKodesh and Nevuah, with no interference whatsoever from the body. That's the wine without the spice. The wine with spice is the hasaga, is the clarity that comes with spices. What are the spices? Says the Malbim, is the flavors of the body, of the personality, is the flavors of the midot, of the emotions. Says the Malbim, if you would have let me grow, if you would have let the neshama, the da'at take control, not only you would have had tremendous spiritual clarity and experience and visions, but when you would have used your intellect for practical things, for business, to build, for things that have to do with the mundane world, it would have been also yain. It would have been also clear. You would also have had benefit from it. So here there is a second how can we call it, disappointment, that not only I wasn't able to do what I wanted to spiritually because of your interference, but you didn't grow physically because of your interference. You didn't get to where you were supposed to be. You weren't as strong, as sharp, as clear, as productive, as successful physically in this world. Assis Rimoni is the pomegranate juice. If you would have let me conduct you and mold you and help you, your actions would have turned out to be mitzvot, right and left. Instead of forcing yourself to go and do a mitzvah, it would have been something natural. Tzedakah, natural. Tefillin, natural. Kosher, natural. Shmirat ha'einayim, natural. Not lashon hara, natural. Divrei Torah, natural. But instead, it was a struggle. Comes to Malbim with this incredible acknowledgement of the challenges we are facing today, and he's bringing to our attention what we're losing. We're losing olam haba. We're losing olam hazeh because we don't allow our neshama, we don't allow our da'at to take over, to do what it's supposed to. it's very it's very powerful. These are not, I say it again and again, these are not just words. This is what our neshama will be telling us. We're going to, our body. All these disappointments, when you have, you have a child and you're disappointed because he's not doing what he's supposed to. Or he goes, he go to school, PTA, then the teacher's like this or like that. You feel disappointed, you're hurt. You talk like this about my son, my daughter, and you see them, you know they could be so much better. But instead, they're in front of one of these games, whatever it's called, the PS4, PS5, PS6, I don't know what number they are today. And they go like this and like this in front of TV, and you boil inside. You're like, I can't believe it. Why can't you put more effort into your kriya, learn this, in math? You could be so much better. That frustration, amplify it by a zillion, and this is the pain we feel for 12 months for not being responsible of the time and the opportunity we got in this world. Worse than burning. It's worse than burning. There's nothing worse than that. This is the worst ginam somebody can face. The shame and the pain of the waste of time and potential. The flip side is that Baruch Hashem is still alive. So we can do something about it. We can do something about it, Baruch Hashem. Now is the time to change, so that Be'ezrat Hashem we limit those things, those experiences. The Gaon, going back to Pasuk Bet, En hagecha aviacha el bet imi telamedeni, כשתהיה האהבה כל כך עזי, En hagecha aviacha el bet imi, שתלמדני דרך ארץ, איך להתנהג עמך, איך אכבדך. It says when we grow and we're able to reveal and live outside publicly the relationship that we feel inside with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, only then we learn derech eretz. Only then we understand how to behave. We understand how to give kavod. We understand how to respect. That's when now you start branching out and creating an ecosystem, not only that is vertical but horizontal with the people that reflects kavod, ahava, derech eretz. Aviacha el bet imi, I'll bring you to the house of my mother, says the Gaon Mivina. This is the Bet HaMikdash. And the Bet HaMikdash represents the kavod of Hashem. The behavior of the Kohanim, the respect of the Kohanim, the seder, the organizational process inside the Bet HaMikdash shows respect, hierarchy, team efforts. You want to learn kavod? You want to learn how to respect people? Learn how the Kohanim behaved inside the Bet HaMikdash. I will make you drink the spiced wine. It says these are the korbanot. Asis rimoni, the mitzvot. We ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bring out through, listen to very carefully to what the Gaon says. We ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to bring out and emanate respect, love, interaction, grace, chen, charisma, beracha in our lives throughout the efforts and the application of the laws and the lessons that we learn from the Bet HaMikdash when it comes to kavod, derech eretz, and ahava. The ahava, we learn it from the first Bet HaMikdash. In the first Bet HaMikdash, we had ahavat chinam. The second Bet HaMikdash was destroyed because of sinat chinam, because of baseless hate. The first Bet HaMikdash was destroyed because of what? Gilui arayot, shfichut damim, and avodah zarah, right? So by learning from the Kohanim, from the Bet HaMikdash, by learning from Yerushalayim, what does that mean? Through the Limud Torah, a person starts behaving and practicing his love for Hashem. And we ask Hashem and we tell Hashem, reside your presence, bring your Shekhinah, bring your kavod in our actions publicly. Let it be public already, and not just an emotional or internal connection. And by asking this, we're not Khalila saying, I want everybody to see what I'm doing. No. Because by pushing this forward publicly, we are bringing Mashiach closer. But it has to be for the Geula. Here the Gaon stresses this nekuda of making sure that we are at peace with ourselves. Yeah, that we have our own, we live our own personal geula. Which means that what the Gaon tells us basically is that if you live your geula and you are expressively showing and doing what you're supposed to and what you're experiencing inside, Hashem reveals himself to you on the outside. So if you want ahavat Hashem, if you want kavod Hashem, and if you want derech eretz with Hashem, you need actions. You need to be proud and expressive of your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We saw that in the past. The more you express your love of Hashem practically, the more he brings out, he shows you the same thing. So the Geula that brings the Yeshua is a Geula that depends on our actions. It's not about how much I want it or how much I think about it. It's how much I do for it on a personal level. But that yields the beracha to make it Be'ezrat Hashem on a national and a humanitarian level. Be'ezrat Hashem. with that, we conclude the first two Pesukim of Perek Chet, Ezrat Hashem.